All right, friends, it looks like we're live, but there's of course always a little bit of delay. So we're going to give it just about 30 seconds or so to catch up. But it looks like we already have quite a few people here waiting for us. So that's super exciting.
Yay. Yep, I see lots of friends on there.
There we are. Sorry if you have to look at our weird faces just staring at a camera for 30 seconds. It's how we prep. So that we're not doing something random when the video starts.
Otherwise, we start talking too quick and it cuts in the middle of our sentence, or we're, scratching our nose or doing something awkward. So
exactly. Well, hi, friends. It's Lea and Heather. We are coming to you live together this week because we're only doing one live. So, we've got quite a busy week ahead of us getting ready for our release this coming Monday. So we decided one live was the best idea so that we could put more time towards creating for the release.
And then we can show more parts of what we're going to sneak peek today too, and show more items. So a little bit better than just doing one live with one of us all at the same time. And it's always fun doing it together.
Exactly. Ooh, there's a lot of people here today.
Yeah.
Welcome. So glad you guys are here. So let me mention this. We're not going to have a moderator today. So it's just Heather and I. So we may miss a lot of questions and we apologize up front already. We'll definitely do our best. Yes. But we may miss a lot today because it's just the two of us and we are both live. So keep that in mind. No moderator. All of the products that we're using that are released. So of course we're going to be sharing some brand new products that aren't released yet, but all of the stuff that we're using that you can currently get is linked in the video description.
Yeah. And a lot of what we're sharing is going to be releasing next Monday. So less than a week to wait. And we'll link it. We'll probably come back and edit the video description and link those up down the road. So if you're watching on rewatch, those might be linked by now.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So before we get our videos switched over to our desktop cams and everything, let's just go over a couple of things real quick. If you're new, welcome. We love that you have found us. We hope that you enjoy today's live video. And we hope that you will check out more lives in the future. So we also give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live. However, Heather,
two today.
We're going to give away two today because it's the only live you get with me and Heather this week. So
we figure if you have to listen to two of us, then two of you should win, right?
And the chaos. And so we're going to give away two $15 gift card codes. We'll probably do one about halfway through and then one at the end. And then it'll be like when one of us is at a stopping point, we'll sign off and take a,
quick turn.
Pick a quick winner and then vice versa.
Exactly.
So all you have to do is just participate in the live chat in there. Like I said, you can leave questions, but if we miss them, we apologize. We don't have a moderator today. But comment if you know an answer to someone's question, answer it. Totally fine.
You guys are all really great at doing that. So when you know, just share that answer.
Absolutely. And then also there is an arrow with the word share next to it underneath this video. Go ahead and click that, share it. You can share it in an email with a friend. You can share it on your Facebook page. You can share it in a Facebook group if it's allowed. Make sure it's allowed. And then just come back here and chat and let us know that you share it and that acts as an extra entry.
And if you don't mind clicking the like button, we really appreciate that too. That helps more people find us, whether it's live or on the replay, just part of YouTube and visibility and being able to make it easier for people to find us.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we should probably get going because I think we have a lot to do today.
We do.
So Heather is going to take the first part, however. So I'm going to switch us to a different view. And okay. Heather is going to foil first, and I'll get ready to do some stamping after she does that.
Okay, I'm going to get my desk ready now that I know I'm going now. All right, we are ready to go. All right, so this is your main sneak peek for today. Lea and I are both going to be using a different part of this, but this is a beautiful new set called Songbirds on Branches. And wait, there's a beautiful hot foil plate. This is what I'm going to be using today. Leah's going to use the stamp set. It was just a little easier to see, so I thought I'd keep that there. And then there's a coordinating die and coordinating layering stencils that we'll both use. But I'm going to move these out of the way and get right started. I'm going to do the hot foiling first so that you can see that up close. Then we'll switch over and let Lea do her stamping. And then we'll come back and I can do the solid foil plate for the rest of that. So I'm going to turn my little handy timer on there real quick. I'm going to use champagne foil today. It's one of my favorites. And I've got a little extra piece. I sometimes slide them on the inside. And in case you didn't know, here's another interesting thing. You can now purchase the glimmer machine as well as lots of colors of hot foil in the Pinkfresh store. So this is one of the colors that you can find in the store. So if you're shopping for hot foil items, now it's a little bit easier to get all of those in one place. And I'm just going to trim. There's lots of different ways. I've just started getting in the habit of trimming it with my scissors because it's nice and easy. And about the time I get this ready, my timer will probably show me that it's ready. I'm going to grab my die cut machine so that is ready. Yeah, it looks like lots of you are excited about birds and loving them. And yes, I think I saw someone comment on there about when the release is, and it is next Monday at 7 a.m. Central Time. Oh, and you know what, before I go, I'm going to pop this loose from my machine and set my foil over the top, pretty side down. My white Hammermill cardstock over the top. Add my top plates. And let's get this first little bit foiled here. And every machine is different. We say this a lot, but I have best results not using a shim and not going front and back. So test and see what works for yours. But let's do the reveal of this beautiful image. And tiny bit of overfoiling there, which that is totally going to be die cut off. So I'm not worried about that. But look how pretty that image is hot foiled. I love it. Okay, I'm going to mute myself and we're going to let Lea take over and do her part.
All right, friends. Well, I am going to be doing some stamping with the coordinating stamp set. So Heather showed you the foil plate, and I am going to be doing some stamping and heat embossing with the cling stamp. So one thing that we love, or one thing that we love to do, one thing that we make sure that we do is we know that not everybody foils. So while we do have a couple of standalone foiling products, when we release our product suites, we're mindful about the fact that not everyone foils. So quite often we will also include a coordinating stamp set. So for the Songbirds on Branches, because it's such a delicate, intricate design, we did opt for a cling stamp for this one because we really wanted to make sure that you would get a really good impression. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp and heat emboss my image today. Now I wanted to give you guys a couple of tips when I'm stamping with a cling stamp. One thing I've noticed, I think maybe because I'm a kind of a delicate stamper or a very light stamper, is that I need a little bit of extra padding in my MISTI to get a good impression. So I have just some MISTI papers here. I think it's about 4 of them in a stack. And that for me is the perfect amount of added pressure to really make sure that I get a good stamp impression when I'm stamping with a cling stamp. Now, if you are a bit of a harder stamper or you have a bit more heavy hand, you probably don't need those. But just because I'm such a light stamper, I like to add that little bit of extra because it just helps me stamp a little bit better. All right, so we've got the cling stamp in our MISTI, and I'm just going to go ahead and ink it up with some embossing ink. The great thing about the MISTI, first thing, I should actually probably prep my cardstock first with my powder tool so that my embossing powder only sticks to the ink. Don't want to make a mess. All right, so now we have prepped it. Now I'm going to ink up my stamp with some embossing ink. I'm going to stamp this a couple of times. I always feel like embossing ink needs a couple of times to be stamped. First and foremost, probably because you put that powder in there. So it kind of dries up the paper a little bit. And then I just, like I said, I have a light touch when it comes to stamping. And so the Misty was a game changer for me, allowing me to stamp a couple of times. I'm excited that you guys are excited about this upcoming release. We are too. We think you're going to love it. There's lots of really very delicate, whimsical images in it that I think you guys are going to love. Okay, looks like I got a good impression all around. So we're going to go ahead and remove this and get the heat embossing done. And then I will pass it back over to Heather while I set up my desk. And she's going to do the solid foiling. So I'm just going to do some gold embossing powder today. All right, that looks good. Let's go ahead and clean this up real quick. I know what I will be doing when Heather starts to do her solid hot foiling. I will be wiping up embossing powder because it never fails. You get embossing powder all over your desk and surface when you're embossing, no matter how clean you try to be. Hi friends, looks like we have more people jumping in. So excited that you guys are all here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and heat set this real quick. Now Zoom will probably mute me a little bit, so it might sound a little weird while I'm heat embossing, and that's the reason why. All right, that is a big image to heat emboss, but all is done here. Before I pass it over to Heather, I did want to let you guys know something that I do with my heat embossed images, especially when they're larger like this. So I have a couple of old extended cutting plates for my old die cut machine that I don't use anymore. And when I have a heat embossed piece like this, and I want to flatten it a little bit, I will actually put my heat embossed image in between two plates. I'll just lightly spritz the back with some water, and then I will make sure I'm putting the two clean sides on the embossed image, and then I'll put something heavy on top of it, like a die cut machine. And that really helps flatten out your embossing image, your embossed image, and that will actually make the layering stencils and the one-piece die line up much easier. And Lisa, I am using the gilded embossing powder from Brutus Monroe, just to answer your question. All right, I am going to mute myself, and I'm gonna pass this on over to Heather.
All right. And I already have my plate. I could see when Lea was getting close to done, so I got my plate all hot and ready, so you didn't have to sit and just watch my plate blink, but I had that heating the whole time, so it's nice and hot. I saw someone mentioning having trouble with their solid foil plate and getting a good impression. We have some videos on that. Everything's different, and you're not necessarily going to get a perfect impression 100% of the time. Even in our video doing it live, we had some fun things, but generally speaking, if you're not you either need more heat or more pressure. So when I use the solid foil plate, I do add a shim between my, just a piece of cardstock between my shim and plate that come with the glimmer. And then I make sure I heat it up extra long, and I run it through nice and slow. And then I also do reverse it and run it back the other way. That's what I found. The other thing that makes a big difference is the cardstock you use. But you can check out on our channel, we have a hot foiling 101 and then also just a 101 class only on the solid foil plate. So hopefully that will provide some tips and tricks to help you out. Let me move some stuff out of my way and let's go ahead and see how this came out. And see, you know what, I had a little scrap of paper on the back of that. So I have one little spot there that didn't foil. I'm not going to worry about redoing it. I'll just use the rest of those images. So I think I had a little scrap of paper on my die cut plate, or that, you know, slipped on the back of that paper, and it gave a little bumpy impression and just messed up that one spot. So sometimes the littlest things can do it. And I'm seeing some people talk about a Gemini. You've got different adjustments for the heat. Also the foil that you use. So check some of those out if you want some more details on that. But I'll probably die cut this one as well. And then towards the end, I might incorporate some of these on my card as well. But I think Leah's probably pretty close to done. And can unmute herself, and then we'll go side by side here and start our stenciling.
All right, we are side by side now.
Perfect.
Like, to make sure I don't have the image upside down, I was like, trying to line up the die earlier, and I was like, why is this not lining up? I totally had it up upside down. The silliest mistakes.
I've totally done that before too. All right, and you're already getting all taped. I think I'm going to do it your style today. I'm going to tape down and hold it stable. I'm starting to change my ways.
That's okay. All right. So, you know, Heather and I didn't even really discuss what colors we were using today. So who knows if we're using all of the same colors? I have no idea.
We aren't. I saw what you're using and we're not.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay,
Here's my
so
colors.
I saw that a lot of people were happy to hear my tip about flattening a heat embossed image. And I have just really found that that really helps you line up the layering stencils better. And it also helps line up that one piece die better as well. I don't think you realize how much heat embossing actually really does warp your paper quite a bit.
Especially when you're die cutting multiples like that, the tiniest little bit can make a difference. So
exactly. So Heather, I was dialing in my new hot foil machine today, and I happened to use the Songbirds foil plate for it. And I had the same thing happen on my first solid image, just a little bit came up around one of the birds. And I was like, well, but everything else was perfect. And so what I was thinking, because I saw that the same thing happened to you, is the great thing about it is we die cut all of those pieces out separately. So the rest of it that's perfect can still be used on other cards, and you can just omit that one bird.
Right. Like I said, and that was on my solid, and I actually had a scrap of paper on the back there. So I knew what caused it on mine there, but yeah.
Mine, I just don't think I had let my plate get warm enough yet. I was trying it out for the first time on my new hot foil machine and just dialing it all in. So
yeah.
All right. So for stencil number 1, I am going to ink blend it in mint. What are you doing?
I'm using Fresh Pear.
Ah, look at us.
I know. Like I said, I looked when I saw your supply list and I'm like, oh, good. We're using different.
Okay, good.
Who knows that coral reef is going to be in use?
Actually not using coral reef today.
Actually, you know what? Someone asked if I can zoom in. Let me see. I think I can zoom in a little bit.
Okay. Hopefully you guys don't need me to zoom in because I cannot. So I'm stuck. You're stuck with me the way I am.
Oh. I think I'm good. I think that's something I might need to remember to zoom back out afterwards so that I'm not cutting stuff off. But at least for now, we're started off.
You're good. Okay, good.
Something about the gold, and I know you gold heat embossed and I gold foiled, something about the gold and adding the blending over it. It's just so fun.
Oh, it's stunning. Love it, love it.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And I was like, should I heat emboss or should I stamp just to give different options? And I'm like, no, I'm heat embossing.
Lea and gold never far apart.
Nope, we're never far apart. I just can't. So I did want to talk about my new foil machine. And I wanted to chat with everybody else too, because something that I found out. Well, so my solid hot foil plate and a lot of my hot foil plates just kind of quit foiling very well on my old machine. Like they were blotchy and splotchy. And because I had gotten such great results previously, I knew that something had to be wrong with my machine. So, and it, it was like almost 4 years old. It had been around the block a few times.
And it's not like you've used it lightly.
No, that thing was a workhorse. So I got a new machine and I was testing it out today. And oh my goodness, that certainly shows you that your old machine was worn out, because I don't have to use a shim on my solid hot foil plate right now because it's so brand new. And it even kind of overfoils a little bit on things without using any shims or anything. So I definitely had a worn out machine before. So if you are struggling to get good results on any type of foiling, check the heat on your machine, or check, just check your machine out. It's possible you may be having a couple of issues with it too.
And even what you said, that brand new, you end up with a little bit of overfoiling that you didn't have before. That's something even, if you really need to, take one of those plastic shims out and just add a couple cardstock shims until you dial into the right spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it probably depends on what die cut machine you're using and everything else too. So,
well, yeah, I think I've got like the double whammy because I'm using that brand new pretty one, the one that's aqua. So it's brand new, and then a brand new foil machine. So I think there's just a whole lot of pressure going on.
Yep. Okay, are we ready for the first reveal? Okay.
All right. Well, there is the first reveal. Got some leaves blended in.
And you know what? This is one of those ones that I know both layers are going to be beautiful, but even just that first layer of color on the leaves is already stunning enough.
Right? All right. For stencil number 2, the best way to line it up is there are a couple of the leaves that didn't get colored in with stencil number 1. And those are what I'm focusing on lining up.
Yep. That makes it all fall into place just magically.
Someone was asking me how old my machine was. It was I think it's almost 4 years old. It was like Gen 1. Like I got it right when Spellbinders released them. So it was pretty old.
Someone's saying that they don't want to buy a new one in 4 years. Realize too that what you use it for at home is going to be a lot different than we use it for.
Yeah, like you can probably consider mine commercial use, to be honest.
Just to keep anyone from being concerned, because I know I've sat for a class and hot foiled like 60, pages all in a row in one afternoon. So probably not what you're going to be doing for average use at home.
Exactly.
Because they are very good machines and they are workhorses.
Yep. All right. So I am just finally starting to get ink blending here because I'm slow compared to Heather. And so I'm ink blending in Meadow for my second set of leaves. What are you ink blending in?
I'm using Grassy Knoll. I'm going to sneak it down a little there so it can be seen. Zooming in kind of cuts off my inks a little bit there. Okay. And I'm going to mix some colors on my birds. Are you doing all
too, actually?
Okay, good. I was like, do I need to
do a little masking?
I don't think I'm doing any masking. I'm just kind of blending 2 colors in different areas, but I just wanted to see if I needed a head start or not.
Susan is asking if it says, if the lists say whose is whose. And Susan, if you look at the top of each list, we have put our names on them.
Yep. The first one says Lea's list, and then the one underneath is Heather's. So then you'll know which one we're both using.
Yeah.
And our additional supplies that are currently in the store if you came in late. And the beautiful thing is too, these will all be up for a rewatch. So if you miss one and you can't remember what order we did it, you can always pop back and watch again.
Absolutely. All right. Are we ready?
Yes. Okay. I just had to say, Susie, I think we make each other giggle too.
So too. All right, beautiful.
Ready?
We got our greenery done here.
So fun. Then is the fun part where we start getting creative, huh?
Yes. Right. So the next stencil is the first layer of birds and the first layer of the flowers. And I think this is where we're both going
So you
to
must be masking out flowers.
What?
I said you must be masking out flowers if you're masking, huh?
I'm actually not. I'm doing the birds in 2 different colors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 different color birds. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You know what? And I think I totally forgot to grab orange, and I'm going to want to put orange on their beaks. So I'm probably going to need to grab that.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Supply.
Real quick, I want to comment on Barb is saying she's still having trouble with her solid foil plate, even after watching the video. If you have anything specific, send an email to our customer service, and one of us probably will be the ones to get back to you. And we'll see if we can help you troubleshoot a little more specifically if there's anything that we can help there.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna need some Post-it tape. So first things first, I am going to mask off the lower bird. We're gonna do the top bird and top flowers for me. What are you masking?
I'm actually not masking. I'm just gonna I'm gonna blend. I'm using a yellow and an orange. So I'm using lemon whip and apricot. And I'm just going to kind of blend my colors on this first layer. And then whoever said they thought they were going to see coral reef. Yes, I am using coral reef. And I'm going to use
coral
that for
reef today. It's crazy.
Next
It's not
layer.
me.
I know.
Okay, so for my first layer of my bird, I'm going to use Sparkling Rose. And the honest truth is I may end up cutting away these flowers. I'm not completely sure because I'm going to do a mini Slimline card today. So I'm not completely sure how this is all going to fit into the mini Slimline, but I'm still going to ink blend it. And if I don't use them, I'll just use them at a different time on a different card. But I'm going to start by ink blending my top little bird pink.
And I'm just doing half of my flowers.
Oh, and I should have been more specific. Sparkling Rose, not just pink.
You said Sparkling Rose at the beginning.
Okay, good.
And I'm blending the bottom of my birds there with the yellow and then one side of each of the flowers. And then I'm going to switch over to the apricot because these are complementary colors. Nice. So I can do, fortunately, I didn't even think about the beaks, but since I'm doing orange for part of it, that works really well for me.
Nice. I'm changing my mind. I was going to do the flowers up here aqua, but I think I'm just going to keep it all. I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to keep it simple. I tend to overcomplicate things. And we're going to keep these guys pink up here.
I'm going to go back with a little more yellow.
So I need to mask off their little beaks.
Their little beaks.
Their little beaks. So I can do them in orange in a minute. And then the little bottom bird is going to be blue. And I thought that this would make like the cutest little like engagement or wedding card. And so that's what the theme of my card is going to be today.
Say our desks look like twinsies except for different colors.
Yeah, they sure do. All right, in this bottom section, the bird on the bottom and the flower on the bottom, I'm inking up an aquamarine.
I'm getting ready for my last layer, but I'm going to wait for you to get that done and then we can reveal at the same time.
Thank you. I'll be quick here. I just want to.
You were doing a little more masking.
Yeah, I just want to get the little beaks done here.
Totally. Nice and easy. Oh, you know what? Maybe this would be a good time to pick a winner.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
I will pick a winner. Let the random roll up here.
All right. Cute little orange beaks. All right, and let's get that kind of wiped off. Not into my aquamarine, however. And I'm finally caught up to you, Heather, but I will wait for you to pick the winner and I will just peruse the comments for a minute.
All right, first $15 gift card winner.
Oh, Sand P, we love to hear that. She was just saying how much she loves our detail black and how intense it is. We love to hear that.
finish writing up this comment.
Thanks, Jennifer. We are happy that you guys are enjoying watching the two of us together. And hopefully the little back and forth at the beginning was fun. And then now we're doing it all together.
Right. So that first winner, I've got the comment posted, Donna Oates. Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations, Donna.
And then the info's there to email Lea at pinkfreshstudio.com. Give her 2 to 3 days, especially as we're busy this week with release and everything.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, are we ready for the final stencil?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
How cute is this so far?
I know. I love that you did your birds different colors. All right. Ready?
All right, ready? Oh, I already did mine. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
You had to.
I was looking at the 30-second delay on YouTube, and I forgot to go back over to Zoom so I could do it with you at the same time.
That's funny.
It's all good. All right.
All
This
right.
one you just got to line up with the
If you line up
tops of those birds.
Yes. The bird's heads and like the tail on the bottom, and everything should go right into place.
Yep. Yep. All right. Wait just a second.
All right, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of masking again.
Okay. And someone's asking if this is a large release. It's a pretty big release.
Yeah, it's pretty big, I think.
Not huge, but it's not a mini one.
No, it's like a normal monthly release, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna mix and match a little bit again. I was only gonna do coral reef on this layer, but I think I'm gonna blend in a little bit of orange here as well.
I'm going to just start ink blending since I am always a little bit slower than you.
Yep.
So I am ink blending in the detail layers with Raspberry Bliss. I'm going pretty intense. So I took 2 steps up on that ink color. All right. Wipe that down so I don't get Raspberry Bliss everywhere. That would just be my luck.
I'm just starting off with a little bit of apricot layering over because this is gonna deepen the apricot I already have on there. Then I can come over with coral reef and it'll just add a little bit of a blend to those colors.
Very nice. Mari, both Heather and I are using the We Are Memory Keepers glass mats. They're the 16 by 22 sized mats. To answer your question. All right, and for my other little bird and flower, I'm using just the next step up in the Aqua's Mermaid Cove to blend in all of those details.
And while Lea finishes that, you might have seen us both using, yes, there are new foil plates. Jackie, I see her asking that. In fact, I used one on this today. But we're using a dry, just lint-free cloth to quickly wipe the excess ink off of our stencils. And we both do that because it keeps our fingers cleaner so we don't get ink on something.
Yep.
But then we clean them later we both have a jar of a little spray bottle of rubbing alcohol and we'll clean them off really well later.
Exactly. Amy's asking any hints on the ink colors, and I can't really give you any hints other than they're just some great fill-in colors that we don't have. Okay, are we ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
And ta-da!
Ta-da.
Oh, I love your multicolored birds. Those are fantastic. Those are so cute.
Makes me think of like sunset. And
They do. Those are so pretty.
this was both of us. I think she had stamped it in advance. I hadn't even done that. So you guys are seeing our first time using these. So
Yeah, I only stamped and heat embossed it in advance just to have a flattened version.
And actually, one thing I did, this is just a random, if you ever want to do this, the only part of this I did was I die cut. I didn't stamp, I didn't foil, I die cut so I could take all the little pieces and lay out and kind of make a plan of what I wanted to do.
That is a great idea because I was like using like my pre-stamped thing and I was like trying to frame it up and like visualize what it would look like die cut.
Yeah, nope, that's just a fun trick if you kind of want to see if something will work and you can just use cheap paper or whatever. And
that's awesome. I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Step out of my way here so I can cut these little birds out now.
Yes, it's die cut time now. I'm going well, you know what? I'm going to try and keep my camera zoomed in. It's going to be a little more cut off, but we'll see if it ends up cutting off too much, or if I'll zoom it out if we need to later, but I'm going to try it first.
All right, so this is a one-piece die, of course, like we mentioned. So my suggestion always is just to take a little extra time and make sure you get it nice and lined up. One thing that I actually like to do with these is I actually like to stand up and look at it from the top down. And that just really helps me get all of those images lined up really well.
And Carol, your question about, do I wipe off ink on top of the foiling? You know what? Sometimes I do. Most of the foiling is such a dainty line that I haven't noticed enough to have any problem with it. So that's one of those things that you totally could do, but yeah, I haven't really needed to yet.
And then make sure that you tape your one-piece dies down really well. That's my only other piece of advice, because you don't want them to shift in your machine.
For sure. I die cut once because I need to cut my solid foil piece as well, in case I want to use that.
I'm sorry, Heather. I don't know if you were talking to me. I was cutting and my Gemini is very loud.
Oh, cutting my, because I had my solid foil piece in case I want to use that at all.
Gotcha.
I don't have to get that die cut. So I have that
Okay,
option.
let's get these out. The thing about really taping down your die is it's really taped down when you're done too.
I find mine stays pretty well, but so it also makes a difference when you've hot foiled, it's a lot more of a stable image. So I feel like it lines up pretty foolproof. When you've heat embossed and your paper might have warped a little, or you know, your stamp might have stretched as you pulled it off. The cling stamp, not so much, but the clear one.
Mine lined up perfectly. So you just want to make sure that you
just
take a little time to really make sure you've lined it up well. And make sure, and like I cannot like recommend enough or say enough to really make sure that if you've heat embossed, that you take a little bit of extra time to flatten your image out.
Yes. Very important.
Lots of people are excited to get back to their craft room and get crafty.
Yay.
All right, do I have any middles I need to get out? Not in there, but I think I do.
There's this one little tiny one here.
There's like these little tiny ones here. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that the only one in this? Oh no, there's one right here too.
Both the pieces with the bird, I think, are the only.
Both of the bird pieces have little chads you got to get out.
The bird
Did
pieces.
you know that those are called chads? I just learned that the other day.
I did not know that. One of those funny little, like a tittle on an eye, and
yep.
And then now I'm going to get it wrong. You know, the sleeves on like a coffee cup, the cardboard sleeve or whatever. Do you know what those are called?
A coffee sleeve.
And now I'm going to get it wrong, but it's something really weird. It's like a snarf or something like that.
No, I didn't know that.
Now I have to look it up again because I remember hearing that and it just made me giggle.
Snarf?
It's really fun if you get the right word.
I would have never in a million years thought that.
Go through a coffee stand and ask them to give you one of those and have them be like, what?
That's funny. And so now I am clueless about how this image is supposed to look again. So that's where the handy dandy back of your packaging comes in. Because I'm like, so what's going on with this bird?
What are we doing next? All right, I have another sneak peek that I'm going to use on my card today.
Ooh, more sneak peeks.
That out. We have some beautiful new cover plate dies coming. And one thing I'm super excited about on them is you'll notice there's no cutting line around the outside edge. So if you want to do like say a slimline or something, you can line them up and put them row by row so you can get a longer panel. It's also easier to just use an A2 panel and not have to try and fit it into those little grooves perfectly. So this one is called Floral Grid, and that's what I'm gonna, it's got these, you can see the little stitch dot lines on there as well.
Very pretty. Because I'm doing mini slimline, I'm not gonna have like a ton of room. I am not showcasing one of those. I just thought that would be a lot. So I'm glad you're showcasing one. And I just realized I don't think I even made a card base for, so I'm just gonna grab some some cardstock real quick and cut card base if you want to take over for a minute.
Sounds good. I've done a little bit because I knew these, a zarf. Is that what it is, Sarah? I was close. It's a zarf. That's the coffee sleeve thing. It's not a snark or whatever I said. I'm like, where did I get that other word? Could be another invention for something else, right? All right. And this is that one cover plate that I'm showing, but there's 3 more that are in the release as well. So just your little hint of excitement for part of what's coming. And yes, the cover plate, that was something I remember I specifically requested, like, can we do that? The other thing I'm using today, and this one is Bonnie, that's a funny description there.
Oh, yes, it's called a zarf.
One of those weird things. Okay, so blanket stitched oval, a zarf. I was close. I knew it was something weird. But a zarf. So I'll have to remember that. All right, so I've already die cut the largest of, actually, I had a bunch of extra because I've done the window so often. I always keep my extra because sometimes I just want the negative stitched window. And this time I wanted the oval. So I have all my extras that I've die cut to create the window. So sometimes you just want one or the other. So you can always save the other one to use later.
Very nice. So I'm just making a mini slimline card base right now, which is 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. That's what we base our mini slimline off of anyway. I know other companies have chosen different sizes, but that's what we base ours off of.
With my arrangement here. I love that color of the card base too.
Thank you. Man, I am not prepared. I forgot to cut a panel too.
Okay, I think I've got kind of my arrangement here. And Heather is sneak peeking lots of things today because I'm going to use a sentiment for one of the new sets.
I'm going to use a secondary sentiment. Okay, so I also pre-cut the mini slimline stitched scallop frame. You know that a stitched scallop frame was going to show up eventually in one of these cards. It seems we use those a lot. And I thought that would be a nice little, just like a frame for these lovely little birds.
Sure.
I'm just going to go ahead and get a little bit of foam tape on it.
Just realized I meant to stamp my sentiment here before I put my foam on, but as long as I put a solid enough bit of foam, I think I can still get away with it. Worst case, if I mess it up, I've got an extra oval cut. So
true.
I do have a backup plan, but I am going
good.
to make sure I get that on there. So this is where my sentiment is coming from. And this is another new set that all I'm showing is the sentiment from this one. But this is called Chrysanthemum Slimline. It's another huge, beautiful, but it's got these 2 big sentiments that also have coordinating dies. I'm just going to use that little one right there that says, "You make my heart smile." I just thought that went really well with this cute little birds on this.
That's really cute. So I'm going to use a pre-foiled sentiment from our Celebrating You when I get to that point. Of course, I'm always a little behind Heather, but I have 15 minutes. I think I can do this.
We've got time.
I got time.
We're not in a big rush. You've got time.
And then
just going to nestle.
I'm going to do some arranging first. So I think I was tempted to pop both layers up with foam, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and use tape runner to do that, just that white layer underneath. I can find it. There we go. And not go crazy with dimension, which I tend to do.
No such thing as too much dimension, right?
Never. Candy Clay is asking, can you use isopropyl or do you have to use rubbing alcohol? I guess I kind of thought they were the same thing.
I think so. Mine says isopropyl on it. So
I think mine does too. It's just I just get it at Target. So it's definitely nothing fancy. And I think it's like the 70% or whatever.
Yep.
Thank you,
So
Carol.
I might have it labeled wrong if it's not rubbing alcohol, if it's different, because that's all I have on it.
Yeah, same here. All right, I'm gonna get some tape on the inside so I can make this card stay down a little bit easier.
And it looks
Okay.
like I got away with stamping my sentiment with my foam on the back. So
Oh, look at you. Fancy. I would have made a
This is
huge
a-
mess out of that.
like I said, I had a spare, so I figured I didn't really have anything to lose.
True.
And I could have just saved this for something else and put something over that.
Okay, so I know I want this little bird up here and this little bird down here. Ooh, this is fun on a mini slimline card.
Yeah, no kidding.
How cute. Are you doing mini slimline too? No, you're not. Okay.
Nope, I'm doing an A2. But I was going to show one little trick here with the background like this. You can put adhesive between each of the little spots there or use liquid glue. But since I knew I had this big frame, I put this down here and then I just put my adhesive behind that. That way it doesn't show.
Well, that's fun.
Kind of a fun trick for hiding
Yeah.
on these fun cover dies. And I used a kind of a soft yellow card base that coordinated so it'll show through those holes.
Whoa, Leah. I was dragging that away like it was an extra piece of greenery and it was actually attached.
And I'm actually going to leave one of my birds off today. So I could put
You're
this
just doing
one
a
on.
single bird?
I'm doing a single bird.
Nice.
Just because
I'm
they
doing
didn't
little
all-
love birds.
Yeah. But I'm going to put a cluster there and a cluster there.
All right. So I have the So Happy for You. I've got about 1 million of them pre-foiled. And this is from our Celebrating You set. And I just have to decide. I think I'm running out of room to do a secondary sentiment, to be honest. Maybe if I push them up a little more. Kind of have an idea here. Yeah, not loving that. So maybe if I push them up a little, I can put part of this sentiment. Aha. There we go. Okay. Now I know what I'm doing here.
I'm just putting foam adhesive on.
I'm definitely going to use the pink one, this is technically done with the solid hot foil plate. So this is the sentiment's white and then it has that nice pink outline that the solid hot foil plate does with our sentiment sets. So I think I'm going to have to start making some decisions here where I snip these. I can
The
get
scary
them
part.
glued. I know, right? Snip. If Cheryl is on today, this is her least favorite part.
I think I have seen her. She always gets scared.
All right. So I'm going to just use a little bit of liquid glue and realize that I did not make sure that this was cleaned out here.
And I'm all on the fiddly little foam tape bits. There we go, but worth it. So worth it.
There we go. All right, that should be good. So I'm going to start by just gluing these down just kind of at the edge because I'm going to want to pull them up to make room for that frame, and I'll probably add a little foam tape underneath them here and there. So I think we're going to snip this guy right there. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Appreciate that. She's just saying how she likes to see both of us use the same products.
Yes. It's always fun for us too, because first of all, even if we use the same thing, we always are going to have a little bit of a different look because
Right.
it's different. But then if we mix and match
Absolutely.
slightly different, then it even more mixes it up.
I agree. So I think what I'm going to do here is I am going to get my frame on, get my sentiment on, and then if I feel like I can tuck some more of those pretty little branches in here and there, I will. But if I can't, then I'm not going to worry about it.
Like a good plan.
Yep.
Double foam adhesive.
Susie's asking if the bird always has to be placed upside down. This one does, yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Really
I don't think
so.
you can get away with moving it the other way.
But as you can see on my card, if you only want to use one of the birds,
yep, you absolutely can.
It gives you those options.
Absolutely.
And this one, I was looking, I already have everything else on here, but if you just wanted to come down with this one, like on a slimline card, it would look like it was just, you took the other one out, just look like it was peeking down at the sentiment. So.
And this is a little fussy, but I think I'm getting there. And now all of my little branches peering out. And so I've got a little bit of dimension there. Love it. I am going to reinforce the dimension on those little birds just by adding a little foam dot underneath each one.
Okay. There's the last of my little, I did double foam on that little outer piece there because I had this on top of this with foam. So I had to kind of make it, make it fit more here. This is coming together so cute.
That is so cute. I haven't even really looked over at yours because I'm so intent over here on getting mine finished because I'm so much slower than you are. You may be picking both winners today.
That's okay. We can do that. And you know what? I probably will. Someone's asking about the reverse. I'm actually pondering cutting them apart a little here and kind of tucking. I think I might do that. I kind of like.
So I'm going to do one more little sneak peek because I'm going to stamp my secondary sentiment here real quick.
Go for it.
I'm just going to do it. Well, actually, I may actually heat emboss it on a little scrap of aqua colored cardstock that I have here, or like the matching cardstock. I don't know if that's exactly matching, so I'm going to grab this other piece and I may heat emboss it in white. Excuse my little tickle. But I just don't know how gold will look on such a deep teal, so I think I'm going to go with white. And so I'm going to give you another look at another stamp set. Of course, I'm only using a sentiment from it. This is our upcoming Lily wreath stamp set. And I am going to add, today is just the first of so many happy days. And I thought that would just be kind of perfect for like an engagement or a wedding card with these little lovebirds.
Fun. I think that's
okay over there, Heather?
Yep, I am.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I got distracted here with my foil bits and pieces and trying. I think I am going to tuck some of those in there because I'm actually really liking some of those just kind of hiding in there.
All right, let's go ahead and get this sentiment up here. Someone is saying you can really see the gold shine on the TV. That's good to know. Love to hear that.
Oh, yes. All right.
One more time.
Playing and wiggling. Okay. I think that's how I'm just going to use liquid glue to tuck those in, but hopefully those kind of show up on there. And then I can save all the others because this one I cut off because I already had the bird kind of damaged. So I wasn't going to use the rest of that one anyway. So this allowed me just to kind of use some of those pieces and cut them down. And I still have a few more that, I mean, like this one right here would go poke that little tiny thing out. But I think
sometimes less is more
really
on the solid things, like just tucking them in here and there, of course, because they are definitely bold.
Exactly. And it's fun to not need to waste them.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to heat that. So this might get a little loud at first.
All right. And then I will just liquid glue up. Okay. Apparently it's my turn for my glue to clog. I haven't had that yet. I think Leah's had it a couple times, but there we go. Now it's flowing. Good. I didn't even have to do anything crazy. Now I can tuck that in. Kind of wiggle it in there and
Right. Get that. Just need to trim it down.
there we go.
Someone was asking where your the gold leaves and they're champagne colored, and those are just your reverse foiling, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I must have missed someone asking. I think a few people answered though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're at the reverse using the solid foil plate. If you missed that first part, you can rewatch and see it come together. Now, wait, where did I have that? There we go.
And I am just trimming this down into a little strip to go at the bottom of the card.
There we go. I love that added sparkle. This was a good touch. I'm glad someone mentioned those again because I'd kind of forgotten. I was
The solid pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know. I think we like to create them and then we tend to forget to use them. So I'm glad I do that the same exact thing. So I'm glad that you thought to use them too.
I think that
I'm trying to be better about using them, especially now that I've got a new machine and my stuff's working again.
Right? My goodness. Half the fun is just foiling it. I mean, I feel like I could just sit and collect them for forever, but like you said,
don't know if you saw the photo I posted to my Instagram stories last week, but I have a pile of foiled items that I'm like, I think maybe I like foiling more than I actually like putting the card together with the foiling.
Like, I need to find my little foil pearls that I'm going to finish off.
All right, so I am going to overlap some of the sentiment over the top of that one bird.
Cute.
Maybe. I think I'm going to have to add a little bit of foam onto this Y to make it work. Being a little finicky here. There we go. Then I got to get the 4 on there.
I'm just deciding where to put my little
Thank
pearl
you,
and
Lisa.
dash.
Appreciate that. Okay. So happy for you. I'm just going to make sure I get that in there straight.
This is the part where we both get quiet because we're fiddling, huh?
Exactly. Just a little bit of foam tape for this guy. And then I'm going to see if I want to add a couple more branches in here. Because I feel like, I might want to add just like, maybe not that batch of one. It's not loving it, so maybe I won't.
I'm in the same boat here.
Or maybe just this little guy. And then I can put some jewels down.
I don't know.
Okay. All right, just gonna tuck this guy right in the corner. All right. I wasn't really for sure on what I was gonna use, but I think I'm just gonna use jewels. Wasn't sure if I was gonna do jewels or pearls or something, but I think I'm gonna go with jewels.
I've got pearls, but I'm almost wondering if it's too much with the gold on here. I'm still trying to decide if I want to switch over and do. I think I am going to switch over and do some crystals, or not crystals, jewels. I think with that extra foil bits I put on, the pearls just are feeling like too much gold.
I'm feeling like too much, huh?
Yeah, which I know seems crazy, too much gold. Like, how can that be a thing? But
I think it can be a thing for sure.
I think too, the champagne and the gold aren't quite meshing together. So
Yeah. All right. Let's see here.
Right side, more fiddling and thinking for me gave you time to.
Perfect. I know. Thank you.
Yeah, I planned it that way.
Exactly.
Totally not.
I need a small one. Right.
There we go.
There's
I like that better.
And then up here, there's a big one. Sometimes it's harder to find the bigger jewels. Let's go with.
I love how we're both talking to ourselves.
I know. Sorry, friends. This is where we get like silent on you.
Okay. Release date is next Monday, Gail, 7 a.m.
Yep.
As much as I feel like it's sacrilegious to say this, I think I could probably have gotten away with not even putting any bling on here, but doesn't mean I'm not going to do
in
it.
the same boat, but that's okay.
Like it doesn't show a lot, but it's always fun. So
I just got to get mine glued down here real quick.
same. I finally committed to where I wanted them. So
Nice.
that's the hardest part.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Want that to be a little.
Okay.
Oh, so one thing I was doing today, I was using my new hot foil machine, just kind of testing it and getting it dialed in. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I went to go move my hot foil plate with this tip.
Oh no.
It melts, just so y'all know.
I actually, you know what? I'd used my one. I had to get a new tip for mine because I use mine so much. And I was sticking something down. And it also, after you use it tons and tons, it can snap in half.
Oh gosh.
So I was like, oh, what did I do?
All right. Well, there is
Sherry, the
my
full
card.
release again is on Monday at 7 a.m.
Yes.
So
All right. We're only a little bit over.
that's not bad for
Two
cards.
people. And
Yeah.
I suppose I need to pick a winner real quick, right?
Yes. I'm just going to show off that.
I'm going to put it on you.
Oh yeah, either way. Or we can switch. I'll let you pick that. And I'm just sitting and showing the sparkle on my reverse foiled pieces added on there. I loved it already without it. But the jewel picker that I am using is the Studio Katia. You can get replacement tips. They just screw on, since we were just talking about that. Oh, yay, Merit. I'm excited to hear that about the Glimmer Machine. I'm just kind of I'm going to step on the blade part, Bonnie. Are you talking about for this? It only has, it's kind of a round flat tip. It's not super pointy. So on this particular one, sometimes I use that to stick things down, but it's not sharp. I mean, if it was pointing up and you stepped on it, it might hurt, but it's really not that bad. A tiny jewel for the bird's eye. I could think about that. I did make a card once and I put a jewel on a bird's eye, and I know both my kids were like, Mom, that's a little creepy. So I haven't done that since then. It was already glued on that one. So I just committed and left it. But yes, I think this, I'm going to pull out the set again and just give you a quick look at the full. So again, there's the stamp set that we used, the hot foil plate that I used, the layering stencils that we both used, and then of course the handy coordinating die to cut all those out. No, this is one of those ones that just looks so elegant with the foil.
All right. Well, I have posted the winner.
Nice.
So we can go ahead and switch our cameras around.
Let's do that.
All right. So congratulations to, of course, now I can't see my own comment.
Global Gypsy.
Global Gypsy.
I could still see it.
Thank you. I'm sorry I don't know your name, but if you could just email me, or to claim your prize, email me. It's leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name, so that's just LEA@pinkfreshstudio.com. And give me a few days to reply back.
Yep.
All right.
Right.
Well, thank you for joining us today, friends.
Yeah.
We had a fun time sneak peeking some new products. Everything goes live on Monday morning at 7 a.m.
Yes. And we should have Scrapbook live this Friday. So we do have one more live this week. So
okay, great. I don't think I knew that.
I forgot about that one. And she's going to be sharing some of the brand new scrapbook collections.
Ooh, fun.
So
yay.
Don't miss that one. All right.
All right, friends. Well, that is everything that we have for you today. So you will see us again
next Tuesday. No, not next Tuesday. One of us, Facebook.
One of us. You'll see one of us next week on Facebook on Thursday, because we have another event we are teaching at on Tuesday. So,
and Facebook in the past has not played well with us doing it together. So it'll be one or the other of us.
Yeah.
And the other one will be in the comments anyway.
Maybe. Comments last week on Facebook weren't great.
That's
They
true.
not working very well.
We're fingers crossed that whatever they were doing, they fixed.
Exactly. All right, friends. Well, that's everything we have for you today. So have a great rest of your Tuesday. Yes. And we will see you next week.
All right. Have a good week, everyone.